She came to the school wearing her faded shawl and holding her son's hand, and the elites laughed. They mocked her clothes, her accent, even the way she apologized for being late. But minutes later, when the ground began to tremble and a private helicopter descended onto the school field, every smirking face froze. Because the man stepping out wasn't just any parent, he was her husband, and his arrival would change everything. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Tales and Turns. And tell us where you're watching from in the comments below. We love seeing our family from all around the world. She had never cared about fitting in, but today she felt the sting. Amina stood quietly at the parent-teacher meeting, holding her old purse close while wealthy mothers flaunted designer bags and whispered behind manicured hands. She tried to ignore the chuckles when she asked the teacher for extra worksheets so she could teach her son at home after work. One woman even muttered that people like her should send their kids to their type of schools. Amina breathed deeply, reminding herself she came only for her son, not their approval. As the meeting ended, the elite parents formed a little circle outside, discussing their weekend trips and imported perfumes. Amina shyly approached, hoping to ask another mother about the school project details she had missed. Instead, she was met with cold stares and a sarcastic smile. "Maybe ask someone who has time," a woman said, glancing at Amina's worn clothes. The group laughed softly. Amina stepped back, heat rising in her eyes, but she stayed silent. She never believed in responding with anger, especially not in front of her son. She took Ali's hand and started toward the gate, whispering encouragement to him, trying to drown out the laughter behind her. "You work so much, Mama," Ali said gently. "It's okay. I don't like them anyway." His innocence cut deeper than the mockery. She forced a smile, kissing the top of his head. But inside she felt small, not because of what they said, but because she feared Ali might one day feel ashamed of her simplicity. Just as they stepped outside, a commotion stirred on the school grounds. Teachers rushed out, students pressed against the windows, and security guards began forming a perimeter. A loud thumping filled the air, growing stronger by the second. Amina froze, confused, while the elite mothers turned toward the field with excitement. "Who brings a helicopter to a school?" one woman scoffed, adjusting her sunglasses with irritation. The wind blasted across the parking lot as a sleek black helicopter descended onto the grass, its blades chopping the air with force. Dust swirled, skirts flapped, and the elites shielded their expensive hairstyles. The school principal hurried forward, straightening her blazer as she prepared to greet whoever was arriving. The laughter that had mocked Amina moments ago fell silent, swallowed by the roar of the engine and a sudden wave of curiosity. A tall man stepped out, broad-shouldered, confident, wearing a simple but perfectly tailored suit. His eyes scanned the crowd until they landed on Amina. And then his entire expression changed, softening, glowing, relieved. It was her husband, Horace. He walked right past the stunned gathering of elites, not sparing them a single glance. The principal attempted to greet him, but he politely nodded and kept going. Every eye followed him as he stopped directly in front of the woman they had ridiculed. Amina blinked in confusion. You didn't tell me you were coming," she whispered. Horace smiled warmly. "You forgot your lunch at home again. And I finished work early. Thought I'd pick you and Ali up." The elites stood frozen, realizing the woman they mocked was married to a man who moved like someone used to being obeyed, someone important. The kind of important that didn't need to be announced. Ali rushed into his father's arms, and Horace lifted him effortlessly, laughing. Then he turned toward Amina and brushed a strand of hair from her face, a gesture so natural and loving that it made the watching crowd shift uncomfortably. "I missed you," he said simply. The elites exchanged glances, shock, embarrassment, and slowly, regret. The principal finally approached nervously, greeting Horace by name. At that moment, the women realized who he was, the industrialist whose company sponsored half their charity galas, the men whose interviews aired on business channels, the men they all praised in public but failed to recognize in private. Suddenly, their arrogance shrank. Their shoulders lowered. Their eyes softened. Some even stepped forward awkwardly, trying to greet Amina with forced smiles. But Amina didn't respond with pride, revenge, or gloating. She simply took her son's hand and her husband's arm and walked toward the helicopter with quiet dignity. The same woman they mocked now walked away with more grace than all of them combined. And strangely, that humbled them more than any confrontation ever could. As the helicopter lifted into the sky, Ali waved at his classmates below. Amina looked down at the shrinking school grounds, her heart steady and peaceful. She wasn't special because of the helicopter or her husband. She was special because she had always carried herself with kindness, humility, and quiet strength, even when the world tried to belittle her. And for the first time, she realized something powerful: she had never needed their validation. She already had everything that truly mattered.